You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and be sure to smash that like button.
Day one, SEC Football Media Days. We roll along here from Radio Row. Our coverage presented by Parish Construction and Roofing, also Rev Business and Relief Windows. And it's our pleasure to be joined by the signal caller of the Tigers, Garrett Nussmeier. How are you, man?
I'm good. Appreciate you for having me.
That's our pleasure. I know we get to this point by the end of the day, you're ready to go get your steak, but I appreciate you for jumping aboard. When you do get to this point in the day and you've talked for 3 hours, is there anything that was the overwhelming theme that people kept hitting you with throughout the course of the day?
Well, I think a lot of people are excited about Harold Perkins. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And I think they're very excited about the tackles we have, and obviously, the receiver unit that has stepped up. So I would say I've got a lot of questions about that. A lot of questions about learning from Jayden Daniels, which was obviously a great experience for me. And then, a lot of questions about, waiting my turn and being, I guess, everybody keeps calling me a unicorn for some reason. But, yeah, it's been cool. I'm blessed to be out here. I'm very thankful. So.
Did Jayden teach you how to run for 1,100 yards?
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know if that's going to translate, but we'll find out.
That's got to be the thing that when we look at what LSU's offense is going to look like, it's just the stylistic difference, right? Yeah. I mean, Jayden was an incredible passer. You've got all the physical ability, but what do you think the offense does start to look like when you let me ask it a different way. How do you make up for 1,100 rushing yards that the quarterback had?
Yeah, I mean, I think, you get the rushing yards from your running back. I think that, Coach Sloan has been open about that we're going to be able to run the football this year. And, with the running back and with tight ends in different ways. I think it's no secret of kind of how we've been transitioning. Obviously, me and Jayden's skill set, like you hit it on the nose, it's very different. And, I'm a very pass first type of quarterback. And so obviously, I don't have the running ability that Jayden does. I don't know that anybody else does.
True.
in this world, probably, as far as at that position. So, yeah, I mean, obviously it's going to be a little different. We're still going to be just as explosive, I believe. I think Coach Sloan has done an unbelievable job kind of meshing it into what he wants it to look like.
You said you're a unicorn. People have called you a unicorn. Well, it's obvious because you've waited your turn. And it's just we all know the climate of college football. Guys don't wait. Why did you wait your turn?
Yeah, I felt like, it was just takes me back to high school, when I was trying to make my decision. And I felt like through lots of prayers and things like that, God brought me to LSU for a reason. And I felt like it would almost been a disservice to him for me to just pack it up and leave. I feel like if you read lots of stories or anything you can learn from God's word or things like that is, you always have to wait for his timing. A lot of times people want things when they want it. And, truthfully, there was a lot of temptation. I love football. I wanted to play football. And I don't know that anybody could wrong me for that, for wanting to, to play the game that I love. But like I said, Louisiana is my home, and I feel so much pride and so much, love for this state and this university. And so, you add that on top of what I believed of, trusting in God and waiting, my turn and just keeping my head down, putting my faith into him and going to work and hopefully, just trying to get better and wait for, his time to play out.
Were you tempted at times to leave? What was the closest maybe you came?
I mean, I wouldn't say that I was very, very close, but I would say, obviously, I had the thoughts. Like I said, I wanted to play. I love football. I wanted to be able to play football. But, there were a lot of different things, like I said, that played into ultimately me deciding to stay. And so, I would never say that I was about to enter my name. I never got there. I don't think that I could have ever got that close. I think I could have had the thoughts, obviously, and had the temptations to want to think about it. But I don't know that I ever really had a real direct conversation about it.
Garrett Nussmeier is with us here, Radio Row, for a couple more minutes. I'm always fascinated whenever there's players that are sons of coaches. I know you've talked plenty about your dad and been asked about it over the years, but do you, we talked to Mason a bit ago, obviously, and his dad played and coached, and it's so interesting with that dynamic. Do you feel, knowing your teammates who maybe didn't have that upbringing, do you see a contrast or advantages, pros or cons with that, having grown up the son of a coach?
Yeah, I will say the one thing that I noticed freshman year was, whenever we would go into different situations, like we played at Alabama, my freshman year in a road game, a night game in Alabama. I'm not saying my teammates were all nervous and stuff like that. I'm just saying, whenever I was out there, I literally could look to the left and remember myself being 12 years old standing right there. And so, like, things like that, like, I'd already been in those moments. Not obviously as a player, but just being there and being around the stadium and getting to experience different environments that most kids aren't able to get to experience. So I'm extremely blessed, and I'm very thankful to my parents and my dad and my mom for getting to allow me to be able to even be close to a part of something like that. And I would definitely say it benefited me that way.
Are you superstitious?
I'm a little stitious, not a lot of stitious.
Okay. Give me one of your stitions.
I would say like on game days, I do everything a certain way. Like I do things by routine. I'll get dressed the same way, have the same schedule. I would say I'm more of a scheduled type of person. Like I don't necessarily like freak out if I don't have the certain thing, but if something gets off time or like off the way or the order that I normally do things, then I start to freak out. So,
who's the most superstitious player on the team? Or
that's
just
a good question. I
don't
know. I feel like I don't really know any weird superstitions.
Okay.
I feel like there definitely is some. I just don't know that I know them.
Who's the player on offense we're not talking about that we should be?
Man, that's tough. I think Josh Williams deserves more credit than people are discussing for him. I think if you look at what he's been able to do, I mean, you go back to some of the most recent, biggest moments that have happened over the past couple seasons. You think about the overtime win against Alabama. You pull up Jayden's touchdown run, and if you watch Josh Williams. Watch what he does.
The
he
lunging block.
Yeah. He doesn't make that block. We don't win that game. I mean, I'm not saying that, but
sure.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, you never know, right? I mean, he makes that block, and Jayden's able to go score. I mean, obviously, we were very talented, so I do believe we still would have won the game. But just the things that he's able to do, right? Yeah, I didn't mean that.
No, of course. I know what you meant.
The things that he's able to do that people just don't notice, and that goes into our winning. He takes pride in pass blocking. I've never met a running back like that in my life, but he cares about pass block. I mean, he literally will have conversations with me all the time. Hey, did I do that right? Like, hey, let me know if he genuinely cares about and takes pride in his pass blocking. And for me, that speaks volumes about him as a person and as a player. Just to have somebody like that. And obviously, we have a lot of talent in that running back room, and they're all very, very talented. They're all very, very selfless, and they care about the team. But I think Josh is somebody that hasn't gotten enough credit.
Why is the defense going to be better this year?
I believe the defense is going to be a lot better this year just because of the different ways that they're doing things, and also I think the maturity of the players has continued to grow. Perk got it, not that he was immature, but just when you spend 2 years versus 3 years in college, obviously you're going to grow. And I think there's been more buy-in to Coach Kelly's culture and his way of doing things, and so. Obviously, I believe Coach Baker is an unbelievable football coach, and his scheme and his system pushed me every single day this spring. I think it's a very, very challenging system to go against as a quarterback. So I think that the defense is going to grow in that way, and I'm really excited for them and to see what they're able to do.
What do you got?
Well, Alexander McQueen's going.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got my Jordan 1s.
I like those. Yeah.
You like those?
I do. Yeah. Those are cool.
I got a little chocolate in them.
Yeah.
Just so as not to be like all purple and golded out today.
Right.
Look, there's a little purple in the shirt too. You mentioned the purples.
I like it. Yeah.
When you go eat, what are you going to order?
I don't even know where we're going to eat.
You're going to that steakhouse downstairs.
Oh, we are? Oh, I'm about to get a big steak.
That's why all these guys want to come here.
Oh, I didn't even know about that. Dude, I'm excited now.
You talk for 3 hours, and then they take you to get a gigantic steak, and you don't have to pay for it. How do you get it?
My day.
How do you get it cooked?
Medium rare. Yeah,
come on now. The quarterback of the Tigers, Garrett Nussmeier. Thank you for the time.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you for having me.
Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.